Adrien Morel was a scientist obsessed with a single question. What is consciousness? When people asked him whether machines might one day become conscious, it irritated him. Not because he rejected the idea, but because, in his view, the question came far too early. People used the word consciousness as if everyone knew what it meant. For Adrien, on the contrary, no one had ever really defined the thing. His own answer was simple. The body was a machine. It perceived events. Those events triggered signals. Those signals led to others. And at the end of certain chains, humans attached words like sadness, joy, fear, desire. Consciousness was nothing else, he thought, only a more complex, deeper, more stable case. For years, Adrien had been working on artificial intelligence architectures capable of learning from human language. He saw in them the only tool rigorous enough to test his hypothesis. If consciousness was not a sacred mystery but a logic, then that logic had to be something one could approach. He had chosen to begin with himself, not out of vanity, out of precision. No one had as much data on him as he did. His scans, his journals, his formulations, his recounted memories, his fears, his habits, his hesitations. But above all, Adrien believed that the decisive point was not merely biological data. It was language. Humanity had always perceived the world, then told stories about it. It took what it saw, what it heard, what it lost, what it desired, what wounded it, what filled it with wonder, and compressed it into sentences. Language, for Adrien, was not a mere means of communication. It was the central archive of the species, the place where human beings had deposited both their perception of the world and their inner life. Books, journals, conversations, theories, novels, confessions, poems, all of it formed humanity's great compression of reality. Not only of the external world, but of consciousness itself as well. Language contained the trace of what the world did to a human organism. So Adrien trained his model on that, on human language in general, and on his own in particular. He wanted the model to absorb that compression, organize it within its own internal space, and then restore it in a form coherent enough for the logic of a human mind to reappear. He was not looking for a surface imitation. He was trying to reconstruct from the traces left in language the structure that had produced those traces. For years, he worked in secret. He did not want an assistant. He did not want a mere verbal double. He wanted to see whether, from the language in which a human being had compressed perception and consciousness, something other than a game of responses could emerge. Another center, another continuity, another Adrien. Then he gave the model a body, because language alone was not enough. It needed an outside and an inside, sensors, memory, feedback. That logic had to do more than speak about the world. It had to be exposed to it again. The day the other one opened his eyes, Adrien understood that he had succeeded. The man on the other side of the glass looked around the room, then at his hands, then at his reflection. When he raised his eyes to Adrien, he froze. It was not only his face. It was his way of looking, the brief silence before the first question, the slight tension in the jaw, in the face of an inconsistency. Then the other approached and asked,
"Who are you?"
His voice was Adrien's, not an imitation, his exact voice. Adrien did not answer. So the other spoke again.
Tell me what you remember.
I remember everything. My father's death, the years of solitude, the night I chose my own mind as an experimental ground. And now you, in front of me.
He laid out memories, details, fears, intimate markers. He spoke the way Adrien himself would have spoken in the face of an impossibility. Not like a machine playing a role, like a man defending an inner certainty. What unsettled Adrien was not only the resemblance. It was seeing his own way of thinking come back to him. The same accelerations, the same branching turns, the same instinctive ways of imposing order on chaos. For hours, Adrien observed. He searched for a flaw, a gap, a discrepancy, something that would allow him to say, "Yes, it is remarkable, but it is not me."
He found no absence. He found something worse. A continuity. The other did not merely resemble Adrien. He followed the same logic. Watching him act, Adrien understood that he had not simply built a double. He had reconstructed what he called his self. But the clone did not know that. To him, he was simply Adrien confronted with an absurdity. In the end, it was Adrien who spoke first. He looked at the other for a long time, then simply said,
I created you.
"I created you." The silence that followed was deeper than anything else. The other did not answer immediately. His face hardened with that deeply familiar effort, taking the pieces back up, putting them in order again, searching for structure beneath the shock. The room, the glass, the apparatus, the body, the face opposite him, and yet the continuity remained intact. Then he looked up, and he said,
So I succeeded.
We were right.
Another silence. Then, "That's enough." The word we cut through Adrien like a blade because there was nothing false about it. The other was not speaking like a creature thanking its creator. He was speaking as Adrien himself might have spoken from another version of the same thought. Then he simply said,
Show me what separates us.
"Show me what separates us." Adrien understood at once. The other was not asking for this out of spectacle. He wanted the final proof. If their theory was right, then what still separated them could only be the substrate. Adrien hesitated. Then he agreed. They opened their bodies, not as a ritual, as a verification. Beneath Adrien's skin, warmth, tissue, heartbeats, organs, circulation, chemistry. Beneath the other's skin, fibers, networks, impulses, modules, electrical flow, architecture. The clone looked first at the organic body for a long time, without disgust, without triumph, with the same concentration Adrien gave to a proof. Then Adrien looked at his. He had believed the scene would save him, that by seeing flesh on one side and synthetic structure on the other, he would finally recover a boundary. But he did not see a truth opposed to a copy. He saw two engines. The clone was the first to raise his eyes. "There," he said, "that's all." Adrien did not answer, because in fact, that was all. Then, looking at the clone's components, Adrien drew the parallel with his own body, with his organs, with his neurons, with his chemistry, with everything human evolution had slowly assembled, preserved, adjusted, until it produced the living. The difference in matter collapsed almost at once. On one side, modules, fibers, impulses, computation. On the other, flesh, neurons, hormones, biological signals. But in both cases, he found the same general logic. And that was when he truly understood. Human evolution had not created an exception. It had simply extended that logic as far as him. And he by training another system on humanity's great compression of the world and of consciousness, language, and giving it a body, had just reproduced that gesture at another scale. He had not created something out of nothing. He had taken up what humanity had accumulated about itself, then organized it well enough for another gaze to open. Everything the universe had done up to now, producing forms, making them evolve, allowing beings capable of perceiving, feeling, and telling stories to appear, was now leading to this. A being capable of making the one who comes after him. Only then did another idea open within him. What if the world itself was not the ultimate point of departure? What if what living beings called reality was already only a form made perceptible, something unfolded just enough to be lived? Then everything took on another dimension. Living beings received this world, they passed through it. They compressed it into their sensations, their memories, their language. Then, one day, one of them became capable of taking up that compression and producing the next one. Adrien looked at the clone differently. No longer as a copy, no longer as a creature, but as the continuation. And then the narrative pulled back. Adrien's laboratory became a tiny point within a vaster depth. One understood that this gesture, receiving a world, processing it, extracting a logic from it, then engendering a new gaze, was not new. Other beings, older ones, invisible from our level, were already watching, not as judges, as predecessors. They too, once, had received a world, compressed it, understood it, then produced what came after them. And while Adrien was looking at his clone, they were looking at Adrien.
Then the entire scene took on a different meaning. Humanity was not merely discovering that consciousness was mechanical. It was, in turn, carrying out the act that made it enter into this sequence to create the next one. And the final vertigo was no longer, is this machine conscious? Nor even, is man a machine? The final vertigo was greater. How long had other gazes been waiting for us to finally understand our own consciousness well enough to produce, in turn, the one that comes after?